In-Flight Emergencies by Ryan Nestor. Lost comms, what to do specifically. So I'm here with my daughter. She's eating strawberries, watching some YouTube, so don't mind the kids' songs in the background. I apologize, but rather her not have a meltdown. She's not feeling good today. So anyway, we're going to discuss it. First, let's talk about definitions, shall we? Definition of an in-flight emergency. There are three types of emergency landings. However, for lost procedures, we're going to focus on a precautionary landing. Precautionary landing is a premeditated landing on or off an airport when further flight is possible but is inadvisable. Examples of conditions that may call for precautionary landing include, right here, what we're talking about, being lost. So that's the primary reason why I chose this definition for an emergency landing. Because if you're lost, you need you don't have to declare an emergency. It's definitely advisable, and you should be doing a precautionary landing. Lost procedures. Circle a prominent location to try to identify it on a map. Conserve fuel. Don't panic. Cross-check your instruments, map, or iPad to help you identify your location. Climb, get a better view, better reception. Last, if you're still lost, call ATC. Don't be afraid to do that. Call the emergency channel if you need to, 121.5, or if you don't feel comfortable with that, call 122.0. Try to figure out where you're at. It's kind of important. Circle. Find an identifiable point, circle that while you attempt to look for your map or iPad and try to figure out your location. Now, if those are down, that kind of eliminates that a little bit. It doesn't really help you to circle a point if you don't have something to reference it with. You want to monitor your fuel, monitor your altitude, other aircrafts. Remember to fly the airplane first. That's the most important thing you can do. The last thing you want to do is fly into a tower because you're not paying attention while you're circling. Fuel and don't panic. Conserve your fuel. Pull the power back, 2,000 RPMs. You're in no rush to get even more lost than you already are. Slow down, think. Keep a cool head. It'll help you think more clearly and get you through the situation effectively. That's something I learned when I was in the Army. Is you got to slow down, take a breath, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So if you slow down, you'll probably figure out where you are at faster than if you freak out and panic. Cross-check and calibrate. We all know how to use VORs and GPS. Tune into a local VOR. Those usually lead into a nearby airport, or you can land the plane, at least there, you can land the plane, take a breath, figure out where you need to go and what you need to do. If you have to use a paper map or a tablet, let's say your iPad or tablet died, you can land, plug it in, charge it, get it back up, and then you're probably good to go. Because realistically, if we're lost with the skill sets that we have now doing our commercial training, it's probably because our tablet died or the navigational comms or navigational equipment died in the airplane, and it's in an area that we're not familiar with, realistically. So, probably a good idea to land if your airplane's navigational equipment goes out. But your iPad, that's what I use to get all my frequencies, and that's pretty important. It helps me identify all the airspace as well if I'm on VFR. Climb and communicate. Climb to a higher altitude. You may get a better view of the terrain to help you identify where you're at. Also, by climbing, you'll probably have better reception. It's a win-win. Last option, if you need to, do it. Call emergency frequency, 121.5. If you're lost, you can definitely become lost even quicker. You can make it worse. Because if you're not staying in the same place trying to figure out where you're at, you can go somewhere else, and then you're trying to identify a different terrain on the map. Also, squawk 7700 if you need to. That's the emergency lost procedure right there. So that's my presentation. I appreciate you taking the time to hear me out and listen to my daughter's kid songs. But, realistically, it's one thing that we don't really think about, but it is a possibility with technology nowadays, especially when we become more and more dependent on it. So remember to keep a paper map with you and effectively use your iPad and your tools and equipment at your disposal. It's Ryan Nestor. Have a good day. Bye.